Hey there, everyone. It is Kelly at Zinny Me. And this is Maple. If you haven't met Maple yet, say hi. Hello. I wanted to talk a little bit about the importance of checking your energy when you're in private practice and how to manage when you have um, tough energies coming up for you in building your private practice. Your private practice is a beautiful mirror for development and growth. It's going to reflect back to you the cracks, the areas that need healing. It's also going to reflect back to you your strengths, the places where you could really harness gifts and talents. I remember when I was in yoga, they said, how you show up on the mat is how you show up in life. Same thing here. How you show up in life is how you're probably going to show up in your business, right? And so sometimes with that can be a process in which you're having a hard time too. It's not all roses, right? Development, growing things means breaking through. If you think about like a plant in a garden, you have the seed, it breaks out of the seed, it shoots up through the ground, it reaches towards the light. That's energy it takes. And some of it's uncomfortable. There's lots of things you can do when you're feeling uncomfortable in your practice. And I wanted to talk about a few of those things, and especially what I see as a coach for working with thousands of therapists in private practice. So let's first just talk about some of the discomforts that people have, right? There's fears, there's unknowns, there's stuff around money, there's stuff around legal stuff, clinical issues that can come up that are unfamiliar or just really intense. And then when you have multiple clients with intensity, it can be an overload as well. There can be sensory overload. There can be continued oppression and things that you face already in your life that you face in your private practice. These all can shift your energy kind of, I don't want to say downward, but definitely in a place where it doesn't feel like things are in flow. So some things we can do to heal, right? Because I believe our private practices are not just to heal our clients. They also heal us, right? They're just another way that we're working through our stuff and giving ourselves an opportunity to rewrite the narrative to something better than before. And that's why every practice is unique, because your story is unique. I was talking with a friend this weekend about how, like, when working with clients who come from other countries, you're not just looking at how to build a business in the context, in this little bubble where you live. You're also taking in the meta narratives that you've been raised with, cross-cultural things. What do you want to keep from your culture? Where do you want to integrate something new? It's a lot of personal work. So that business is healing some parts too and helping you recreate a better version, right? And iteration is the nature of private practice. So just when you think like you've got it where you want it, you'll have your own internal growth, and then that will be reflected in the business. It's ever changing. And that's what's beautiful about, I think, having a private practice. When systems are generally oppressive and they serve the system and not a community or the persons within that system, your private practice is a system that can serve you, that can be something like a well-worn sweater that just feels good, right? But we have to try on a few things till we find that right fit. And then as we grow and change, we need a different fit too. So that is why I really believe the practice heals not only the clinician, not only the client, but also the clinician. So when we're having a lot of energy downturns, when we're having fears and things come up in our practices, what are some things we can do? We can work on healing our own internal energy. That can be done through therapy. I use breath work. I use Reiki. I use energy postures even to help me shift energy, right? moving from that place of fear to a place of curiosity, shifting from sadness to finding hope, right? So there is actual energy work that you can do to shift that internal world. The second is relationships can also heal when you're having a lot of energy issues and you're like stressed out and you are scared in your practice, right? So reaching out to other people, whether that be groups of people or just close friends and family or a coach or a community who understands and is aligned with the purpose that you have, that can also help shift the energy. The other thing that I think can shift our energy in practice is knowledge. Sometimes we fear things we don't fully understand. We're projecting a lot of assumption and worry and fear because there's gaps, and that's what we're filling those gaps with, right? Energy and emotions that are tanking us. So what kind of knowledge are you needing or missing that would help you feel more grounded? So again, it could be internal, it can be external, but we can also move from the heart to the brain and make this connection between, hey, I got this far. I am a smart person. I can adapt. I just need to learn more. Sometimes our expectation of what our knowledge should be is ridiculous. Like, I don't have the knowledge I have overnight. This has been 12 years of coaching people. This has been my own experience of running a business. This has been being in other people's businesses outside of the therapy field that has gotten me this much knowledge. And there's still more to go. That's the exciting part, right? But sometimes we come into our practice, I should know this. This should be easy, right? With these expectations that are unrealistic. So actually, there is stuff to learn. And you get to choose how you learn that and where you learn that. And again, paying attention to energy. What do you feel drawn to? What gives you excitement? When you hear people talk, what feels authentic to you? What feels resonant? So where you get your knowledge, I do believe really does matter. Pay attention. One of my breathwork teacher, we were doing breath work one day in a group and she kept saying, stay awake, stay awake. And that has just stayed with me these past few weeks of paying attention and staying awake to what's going on around me and where I am drawn to, right? So as we heal internally, as we do things throughout our day to shift our energy, to tackle the fears or worries, as we reach out to people, right? We're staying awake to what is next. What do I need to equip myself and ground myself so that fear doesn't drive the ship into an iceberg, right? I'm full of metaphors today. I don't know why, but what knowledge do you need to help combat the fear, the sadness, or the worry? And when you have that knowledge, it can kind of detach from the emotional tornado while you're working on those emotions. And then it gives you some autonomy and some options for where to go to next. And usually that will quell some of the emotion as well. It will shift it. Imagine, right? You sit before you with a math problem. Heck, when's the last time I did calculus? I did AP calculus in high school. Could I do it today? No. If I sat down, I would be like, and this is knowledge I used to have. And I could stay in that, I don't know how to do this. Or I can say, like, this feels hard, acknowledge that. What do I need to learn to be able to do this? And going about seeking out information in places where I feel connected and I feel like it's really good for me, right? That's the other thing. Pay attention to where you get your information from and that it aligns with you. And you're going to outgrow some of those places. There are people, you might resonate with what we do at Zinni Me, and then for a time you move on to something else. That's part of growth and development. It's beautiful. So think about, where is your energy in your practice? Where do you feel flow? Where do you feel those stuck points or those rigid places? And using where you have flow, remembering that that is a possibility, that that is within you. And then when you have those places of energetic stuckness, fear, sadness, terror, whatever is coming up for you, the ways you can shift that are internal work with therapy, energetic work. Like I said, I use meditation or Reiki or breath work. Lots of things we can do with our somatic processes to calm and move from states of fear into groundedness, reaching out for support, but then also getting information. Because a lot of the times, fear is driven by the unknown, anxiety is driven by the unknown. So if you can build up your knowing, it can also shift that energy. So that's why we're doing our training on subpoenas with Nicole Stoller-Peterson. It'll be on the 29th. If you want to check the events, if you're on Instagram, or I put the links here if you're in other places in social media. Our hope is that, hey, no one wants to get called to court. But I think that doing things out of fear and trying to avoid getting called to court, think about what that does energetically to you. That's draining versus getting knowledge, putting some processes in place so that no matter what happens, you're prepared as best as you can be. Think of how that feels energetically as well. So that's why I'm really excited about this training that Nicole's going to do. It's our way to give back. We pay her to come in to serve you with a free training. There's nothing beyond it, but it's really about how do we in private practice have a process so we don't sit here in fear and we make decisions out of fear, but we made them out of knowledge and confidence. Because what I see a lot of the time is clinicians saying, well, I just don't go to court. Well, that's a nice sentiment, but the judge doesn't care that you feel that way, right? The judge is not going to listen to that. So avoiding energetically, what does that feel like in your practice? So if you feel a little like, when it comes to court, or you're not sure quite what to do, or there's an energetic stuckness there, I want to really encourage you to join us for this training. Nicole is an expert in this, hands down. She consults with a lot of our clients. We utilize her court policy in our program as well, because she knows what she's talking about, and she's had a lot of time in court, and she helps therapists prepare for court. So I highly recommend this training. I know I'm still going to learn too. So that will be exciting. I hope that your energy flows this week, that you find places where there is ease, confidence, and groundedness. And when you are feeling stuck, overwhelmed, anxious, or fearful, that you reach out and reach within, shifting that energy, getting support, and getting the knowledge you need to move beyond it, because you don't have to stay here. So have a wonderful week, and we hope to see you in the training.